We have some great news to share on Neemias Queta on today's show. As EuroBasket is officially underway, he's playing for Portugal and projects to be your Celtics starting center for this upcoming season. We'll break down the news on Queta in just a moment. But later on in today's show, we're also going to get into an Anfernee Simons trade update, as we heard a couple of teams had some level of interest in trading with the Celtics, but we got an update on one of those teams maybe being out of the race. We'll talk about all that and more in just a moment. But first, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We are almost at our next milestone here at Celtics Today of 53,500 subscribers. We're just 167 away. So if you want free, informative Celtics content every single day on YouTube, go down below and hit the subscribe button and turn those notifications on so you never miss a moment around your C's. Let's get into it. Neemias Queta just went off in his EuroBasket debut. We had talked about a couple of different exhibition games that Neemias Queta had played overseas over the past couple of weeks, but now the real deal has begun. And in his first game against the Czech Republic, he dominated end to end. Started 7 of 8 in the first half from the field and finished the game 11 of 15, pouring in 23 points, 18 rebounds, 6 stocks. That's 4 blocks and 2 steals on the night, affecting the game on both ends of the floor. And he played 30 minutes, and the team won by 12. So a great start for Queta here for Portugal. Got Portugal's first win in the EuroBasket since 2007, and he had a couple awesome highlight plays, man. Just to name a few here, in the first quarter, he knocked down an above-the-break three-pointer. This is a guy who has 0 NBA three-pointer makes under his belt, and he had no hesitation, had an open look atop of the key, and got the ball and just launched it, and it went in, barely touched the net. The net barely moved, so who knows? Could this potentially be a portion of his game that he has yet to tap into and is ready to this upcoming season with more opportunity on the C's? In the second quarter, he threw down a nasty alley-oop slam, and I say nasty because it just went down with a ton of authority. He jumped from a little bit outside the center circle, and then two-hand slam. He's a big guy, man. Like I know Neemias Queta might not be the most skilled big man that we've ever seen in the NBA, but when you watch him out there on the court, he is a massive human being, and to see him get up like that and use his athleticism is awesome, and it's going to bode well for the C's this upcoming year. And then to end the first half at the buzzer, a legit fall-away jumper from the left elbow, fading to his left. He's a righty, so that's obviously a difficult shot to make, and he knocks it down at the buzzer. That was awesome to see. I mean, if he can give you anything outside of 10 feet this upcoming season, then that is going to just open up a whole heck of a lot for the Celtics offense. And then you move to the second half and the fourth quarter, where things were getting a little bit tight as Portugal held a good bit of the lead for most of the second half, and then the Czech Republic made their run. They cut the lead to 6, and then they were going to cut the lead to 4. Oh, Queta's there, roaming around the paint, and blocked a floater there that couldn't make it a 4-point game. And then a couple trips down later there in the fourth quarter, Queta had an offensive rebound putback layup where the game was only separated by 5 points, ended up stretching it to 7, and then he ended up cleaning things up in the last play of the game as well that sealed the game and gave Portugal the 62-50 victory over the Czech Republic. So awesome stuff all around in all facets of the game throughout the first, second, third, and fourth quarter from Neemias Queta, and Portugal was a plus 21 in Queta's 30 minutes out there on the court. So like, it was very, very valuable to have him out there. And look, man, it's not just on the offensive end of the basketball court. He was elite defensively as well, and that's really what I think is going to bleed into his Celtics game this upcoming year. Yeah, are we going to all expect him to hit these outside jumpers or fall away jumpers at the buzzer above the elbow? Or no, that's not what we're really expecting Neemias Queta to at least show off of the rip. What we are expecting him to translate into and get better at is his rim protection, and just having that guy down low for Boston is vital because they lose an Al Horford, they lose a Luke Cornett, and now you just have Queta really down there. Boucher's not much of an elite shot blocker. Obviously, Xavier Tillman is undersized. Amari Williams hasn't played in the NBA yet, and you have Luka Garza there, who doesn't really play much on the defensive end either. So to have this value of a rim protector is going to be huge for your Celtics this upcoming year. So much so that we had the EuroBasket play-by-play scared of Neemias Queta. He said it's gotten to the point where for the Czechs that if Queta is nearby, they aren't even going up with the basketball. They were avoiding paint touches at all costs because Neemias Queta was an absolute deterrent down there. Not only a rim protector, but a rim deterrent. And I want you guys to know that those are two different things. There is a difference between being able to block shots and being a force down low, and then there is teams won't even go up and shoot on you. Like, that's what Rudy Gobert is. Yes, he's an excellent shot blocker, but he's also a rim deterrent as well. Teams don't go up on Rudy Gobert in the paint, and the same was going for Neemias Queta here over in the EuroBasket. Is that going to be the case in the NBA? Maybe not so. Maybe not immediately, but as he continues to show his rim protecting prowess, teams will less and less take the ball in the paint and try to contest Neemias Queta at the rim. And that's why I think he's going to be the starting center, man. He provides enough on the offensive end as a lob threat, as an around-the-basket player, cleaning up things on the offensive glass. Like, that provides real value in your offensive game. Plus, he has that defensive versatility as well that I think is going to bode very, very well from him. And he's gotten better in each opportunities that he's gotten throughout his NBA career. Like, yeah, the stats for between 24-25 and 23-24, they're fairly identical for the most part. But you could just see that Neemias Queta looked a lot more comfortable this past season, getting more opportunities. The Celtics coaching staff deemed that he was warranting more opportunities as he had played 62 games this past year compared to only 28 in his first year with the Celtics, where he probably spent a lot more of that time up in Maine in the G League. So with more opportunity, Queta has shined. And look, for a front court that I just talked about that doesn't necessarily bode the most star power, it's awesome to see a guy like Queta who was a garbage bin kind of signing, a lost and found signing for Boston here, and he could end up really being a diamond in the rough this upcoming season when you compile together his size, his defensive prowess, and the strides that he's making on the offensive end as well. I think Queta is going to be playing the bulk of the minutes here out of the front court names that you see on your screen. With that being said, what do you guys are you guys confident in Neemias Queta as your starting center? I know the front court looks bleak, and it could put the Celtics in position to win less than 40 games this upcoming season. But what's your confidence level in Neemias Queta alone as the starting center? Scale it for me down in the comment section, 1 through 10. I'm trying to hear what the Green Teamers have to think about Queta. Next, we're going to get into an Anfernee Simons trade update. As we heard, a couple of teams are interested, but one of those teams might be on its way out. We'll talk about it in just a moment, but get hooked up with this awesome deal at this link right here, chatsports.com/Tatum shirt. It's the Celtics Kelly Green jerseys. You can wear this all times of the year, every single day if you wanted to, and it's on a massive sale right now. I don't understand why it's on a massive sale, but I'm not going to question it. Chatsports.com/Tatum shirt. That's chatsports.com/Tatum shirt. I'm going to get myself one for the watch parties this upcoming season. You can too. That link is in the comment section and description of today's video as well. So go get yourself a fresh Jason Tatum jersey for the low today. Multiple reports have been saying throughout the Celtics offseason that since making the trade for Anfernee Simons, sending Drew Holiday to the Portland Trailblazers, that the C's have been trying to make a deal for Anfernee Simons to get off more money, to get closer and closer to that luxury tax line, as they're not really married to Simons here, who's on a one-year, $27 million contract. They'll be expiring at the end of the year. If they can't get something for him now, they're probably not going to re-sign him in the summer, so they're going to want to ship him off to clear up their salary books and avoid those luxury tax repeater penalties that hit once your roster is set in stone past the trade deadline. And we had heard from an NBA insider, Jake Fisher, that there were a couple of teams rumored to be interested in Anfernee Simons, one being a division rival, the Philadelphia 76ers. The Denver Nuggets were also listed there, and then after he initially listed the Sixers and the Nuggets, the Bucks were also mentioned as a team that could have some interest as well. Out of these three teams, man, I'm not going to lie, like the Bucks are probably the team that I'm most keen on as far as the assets that they can send back. Philly and Denver, we'll talk about what those trades would mean to me in just a moment, but Adam Aronson of the Philly Voice, that's right. He's very tapped in with the Sixers. He just tweeted this out. He said, "Don't think you need to pay too much mind to the Sixers and Anfernee Simons rumors for what it is worth." So that's kind of shutting down the Simons to Philadelphia trade rumors. And look, I didn't necessarily think that there was a great chance of Simons going to Philly anyways. They didn't really have anything for me that I would have wanted back in a deal. And that's not to say that you're going to get back a big return in on-court value back from a team that's trading for Simons. But look, Philly doesn't have a lot of flexibility to get a deal done. They have Paul George making $50 million. And then after that, their next highest earner is like Kelly Oubre at $8 million, and then like Drummond at $5 million. So they really don't have a lot of assets really whatsoever to get an Anfernee Simons trade done. Plus, they would be accepting more money back in a deal than they would be sending out. So that means they would be hard capped at the first apron, and they still have Quentin Grimes' free agency to saddle up. So that doesn't really make much sense for Philadelphia here. And like all these rumors that are coming out about Anfernee Simons, whether it be the Denver Nuggets, whether it be Philly, whether it be Milwaukee, I don't think that you're going to get your on-court value back. Like, Anfernee Simons is a 19-point-per-game scorer and a really efficient three-point shooter as well. But you're not going to get that same type of production back in a trade. The rumors that we've heard so far and all the interest that we've seen, the assets that those teams have to send back to Boston are not great. So that tells me that Brad Stevens is making calls with, the teams that aren't going to give him back a ton of on-court value, teams that probably wouldn't have to receive much draft capital back attached to Anfernee Simons if you're making a trade. What Brad Stevens is trying to do is clear up these salary books, and we know this. They already talked to the Brooklyn Nets at some point during this summer as far as making maybe a Anfernee Simons, Terrence Mann type of swap, and then they would go out and just flip Terrence Mann later on anyway. So they're just trying to get off of this money in full. Don't take these three teams that have reported interest in Anfernee Simons as like they're trying to give away some assets in order to get him, because the Bucks were already not willing to trade Bobby Portis away this summer in some sign and trade deals. They're not going to trade him away to the Boston Celtics for Anfernee Simons, who's on a 1-year deal here. Giannis likes Portis, so that's off the table. It doesn't look like you're going to get much back for Anfernee Simons in a trade. This is looking a lot more like a full salary dump to get the Celtics below that luxury tax line. And I had somebody in my comments section telling me, the Celtics don't have to trade Anfernee Simons to get under the tax. All they got to do is trade Sam Hauser. That's wrong, by the way. They don't have to. If they traded Sam Hauser away and literally took no money back, they would still be over the luxury tax line. So check yourself there on that one. But they'd have to attach maybe like a $2 million player on top of Hauser if they were to want to go that route. But I don't think they do. They like Sam Hauser's value, and he's on this team for the foreseeable future. So with that being said, decide it for me and that guy in the comments section. Pick one to trade. Anfernee Simons, type AS, who's on a 1-year, $27 million deal. Can get a lot more cleared up there than you would with trading Hauser. Or if it's Hauser and you want to trade away a guy who's on a 4-year, $40 million deal, type SH down in the comments section. That will do it for today's edition of Celtics Today. We can talk about it more on Twitter if you want to argue with me. At Tyler J. Smith, 2 H's, because the name's common, but I am not. And make sure you are subscribed to the channel. That will do it for today's edition of the show. We'll see you guys in the next one. And as always, let's go C's.